Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We want to chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. First timer on Ron Siegel Radio, Jay Connor is with us. Welcome.
Oh, my lands, Ron. Thank you so much for inviting me to come along on your amazing show to talk about my favorite topic, that being private money, because private money has made more of an impact on our real estate business than anything else we've done.
I like money. Private money, we're going to talk about it. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Josh, I saw a new one on here. Today's National Student Nurse Day. Now, we hadn't even talked about that one. We appreciate all of our nurses, all of our first responders, frontliners. That's why we are the #1 division in America for Homes for Heroes, celebrating all of them. National Have a Coke Day. I'm not much of a Coke person. I not even if you're putting it in rum. I'm just not a much of a Coke person, but I have beaten anorexia. And having beaten anorexia today, I'm going to go with National Coconut Cream Pie Day. That one looks pretty good. Where are you going to go get a good piece of pie today? What's your favorite pie? I should have put that as the question of the day, but it is not the question of the day. Question of the day today, if you could vacation anywhere in the world, where would it be? If you could vacation anywhere in the world, where would it be? Put that in the comments. If you're watching us live, put it in there. If you're watching a replay, put it in there. If you're listening to us live on ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1, just send us, put it on our socials. If you could vacation anywhere in the world, where would it be? And I will throw out there, I'll start the bidding right here. It's probably the only place I go to vacation. I just have a thing for Maui. And, I'll probably be going over there in the next month or two. So if you could vacation anywhere in the world, where would it be? Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 79 points. The S&P 500 is down 3.92. NASDAQ down 41.64. Oil up 59 cents per barrel. And the 10-year Treasury, that one's up just a little bit, 4.486 as we speak right now. And we've got an economy that I'm going to tell you right now. I've been telling you this, and the headlines don't follow what we tell you. I know. They just do their own thing. But I am going to tell you that I get some good scoop that is not the stuff that's being spewed out on the mainstream media. Why? Because they lie to you. They don't care about giving you the truth anymore. It used to be that we got the truth from the media. We do not get you can barely ever get anything that's truthful. You listen to CNN, sorry if you do that, and you get their perspective on what they want you to know. You listen to Fox News, you get their perspective. I don't care about their perspective. I want the news. I want to make up my own mind. So I'm going to give you some data. And one of the things that we do, we have to do this in order to get this information to you. We pay private news sources because we want just the news. So take a look at this one. Now, this is just a straight poll coming out of Bloomberg News, Harris poll. And we've been telling you that the economy, no matter what the president tells you,
it is what it is.
I'm not sure that he knows what he's telling you, but somebody put this in front of him to say it, that the economy is doing great, that the job market is strong, that inflation, well, he'll probably tell you again that there is no inflation, but you believe what happens when you go to the grocery store. I told you I went to Costco a couple weeks ago. The same package of butter that I used to pay $9.97 for is now over $14. Yeah, I know it's a Costco package. Eggs almost double the price. Don't believe what anybody tells you. Believe what you see. How many people are you hearing that are having trouble right now with the employment world? How many people are starting to run out of the month is longer than the paycheck. The month is longer than the money. Okay, so let's look at some new news coming out of a Harris poll. 43% of those who owe money to buy now, pay later services said they were behind on the payments. 33% turned to the services after maxing out their credit cards. Yes, you max out your credit cards, going to go find some more credit somewhere. 54% said they bought more than they could afford. 24% said their buy now, pay later spending was quote unquote out of control. Now you think this is just people that don't have money that are doing this? 42% of those with household incomes of more than $100,000 reported being behind or delinquent on their buy now, pay later payments. 50% are already or considering using it to pay bills or buy essential items, including groceries. Does that sound like a great economy? Now, I'm not here to bring you doom and gloom. We bring you solutions every single day on Ron Siegel Radio. We've been doing it since 2010, bringing solutions to how we can help you make your life a little bit better. And we're going to continue with that mantra today, where we continue showing you some of these things, how to live within your budget. Now, we talked the last few shows. You've heard me talking about Geneva Finance's Home Select program. I just ran a simulation for a lady this morning, and I thank her for her service. She is working in a parole officer. Okay, so not a massive amount of income, but how about a 1.39% effective APR on a 30-year loan? 1.39%. Not bad, is it? Okay, so we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but you can go to rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com, and you can get details on this particular program. Let's move right along. What else is going on in the news today? The president's at it again. Think about this one. So they just confirmed, we've known this for 4 or 5 days, we've heard it, but they have now confirmed that the United States put on hold 35,000 missiles, smart bombs, going to Israel. They're not sending them over there. Now, the irony is, think about some of the things that we get from Israel. Medicines, medical advantages, your cell phone. And then you look and you say, okay, well, you got all these lunatics on the school campuses. What are they doing? Certainly they're not getting educated, because can you imagine what some of these people, especially I look and I watch all the women that are out there protesting right now. Wonder if they went over there and lived under Sharia law, how long they would like that. Yeah, think about that. And did you see Ted Cruz this morning? He's got a new one that the Democrats don't like. How about with all the money that the president is trying to give away, your money and mine? It's not his. It's not the government's. It's you and me, we the people. So Cruz came out and said, you know something, with all this student loan debt, do you think the president would say those of these protesters should not get any student loan relief if they're saying death to America? Yet the administration doesn't like that idea. Amazing. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how buying or selling a home benefits your community, how to get something off of your credit card, and we're going to talk about the way to unlock real estate wealth. No banks needed. So we'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or APR. They give us the number to put into your mortgage calculator, if you have one, or you can get it at ronismylender.com. They give you a number to put into the calculator to figure out what your payment's going to be. 30-year conforming loans locked yesterday, 7.034. That was down a little bit. 30-year jumbo loan, 7.278, up a bit. 30-year FHA loan, 6.792. That was up a little bit. 30-year USDA loan, 6.786. That was up a little bit. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it. This would be our VA loans. Thank you to all of our veterans. We appreciate you every day. 30-year VA loan, 6.553. That was down just a bit. If you want our market commentary, our market thoughts, we put it out as early as the data allows each morning. rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. It is free. All you got to do is go there and just put your email in there. Get it for free. What's happening in the markets today? Let's take a look. The S&P 500 is now down 4.25. The 10-year Treasury up 2 basis points, 4.481. And the mortgage-backed securities are down just a little bit. When the bond goes down, that means rates go up, but it's not enough to matter. It's up 5 basis points today. The question becomes, why are these things happening? What's driving the market? Because all those other things you can find on that super secret website, google.com. So there are some distortions out in our economy. We've been talking about that a little bit. Government spending, no matter what anybody wants to tell you, it's killing us. Government has been spending close to 23% of GDP. That's similar to the level of the early 1980s after the Great Recession. But we're clearly no longer in an emergency-like condition. So why are we spending 23% GDP? Consumers also been showing a lot of resilience. The most recent consumer spending data for March showed strength. Core retail sales were up 1.1%. Personal spending rose 0.8%. We'll see what the revisions look like to those numbers. The San Francisco Fed released a report showing that the pandemic savings from stimulus has finally been fully depleted, and then some as this past March, as of March. We've also seen the personal savings rate drop to 3.2%, lowest level since October 2022. And I already told you earlier about what's going on with credit cards. We're just living on those credit cards. We love to spend money. And here in California, not only do we like to spend money, we like to tax ourselves because we keep voting in the same people that like to tax us more. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. So, Ron Siegel Radio, where your home and investment dreams meet expert advice. Today, we're thrilled to have Jay Conner with us, real estate mogul who turned the crisis of 2009 into a lucrative opportunity by mastering the art of raising private money. Jay has automated his business to work less than 10 hours a week. That's what it says here, all while maintaining a 7-figure income, whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out. Jay's insights will empower you to skip the banks and finance your deals creatively and profitably. Welcome, Jay Conner.
Ron, thank you so much for having me on. And the first thing I got to do is give you a compliment. And here it is. Greg Gutfield stole your radio voice.
I wish I could steal his paycheck.
Don't you? I mean, hey, I watch Greg every night, and I'm going, my Lance, I'm here on Ron Siegel Radio, and I'm listening to Greg Gutfield. So anyway, you sound fantastic.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. So we got to get into this and understand 10 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, people ask me all the time, they say, Jay, what do you do? I mean, you know, you've got a fantastic team. You've got your business automated. My wife, Carol Joy, and I, of 37 years of marriage, we live here in Eastern North Carolina in a really, really teeny tiny area. Only 40,000 people is our target market. We do 2 to 3 house deals a month. Average profits are 82,000. I don't say that to brag at all. I say that to make a point, and that is you can make significant income in a small market. Why compete in those big markets? But back to the 10 hours a week. You know, we started full-time investing in single-family houses conventionally using banks all the way back in 2003. And I started out, Ron, I was running around with my hair on fire. That's actually back when I had more hair.
I was going to say, I don't even have any hair, so I can't do this.
Hey, Ron, grass does not grow on a busy street, for goodness sakes.
Okay.
But anyway, I was running around crazy, working 60, 70 hours a week. And it was 8:45 at night one night. Carol Joy and I were at Lowe's Home Improvement, and we were buying knickknacks and blinds to stage one of our houses we had done. And I looked at Carol Joy and I said, what in the world are we doing at Lowe's Home Improvement on a Saturday night at 8:45 when we got into this business for the wealth and the freedom? Where's the freedom? Ron, I remember walking into our kitchen one night at 10 o'clock, and I saw Carol Joy, my wife, sitting at the kitchen table crying with bills stacked high, paying bills. I said, babe, what's wrong? She said, I can't handle this anymore. She said, what do you mean? She says, I just can't do this. It's too much. And, you know, I woke up that night, Ron, and that was about a year after I'd been in the business. I said, you know, you can be making over $1 million a year, but if you're not enjoying the journey, it's not worth it. So I set out on a mission to automate my business. What's the definition of automation? I'm a 3D guy now. Dictate, delegate, and disappear, and let other people do what they do best. So I set out on a mission for a year to automate this business, get my team in place, get my software in place, get my CRMs in place, my customer retention management. I mean, I've got the same acquisitionist that talks to the sellers of houses for 18 years. She and I might talk on the phone once every other month. Everything is communicated on the internet, on the software. So I set out on a goal to get to myself to a position to where I'm running it and it's not running me. So what do? I make decisions. What do I make? What offers do I want to make on houses and et cetera? Get out of the way. Let other people do what they do best. And you know what I found out? The more I get out of the way, the more money I make.
I like that idea. And I love your definition of automation. Mine's very similar to yours. My definition of automation is somebody else does it.
Right. Well, it's either people or it is, you know, systems in place and software. And, you know, a big part of my automation is using virtual assistants, and I pay them just for the efficiency and for the work they do. So it doesn't cost a lot of money to really start automating your business.
That's pretty interesting. So, I mean, you're doing 2 to 3 deals a month, you said, in a population of 40,000. So you don't even go out of that geography.
I don't. We stay right here. We've rehabbed, renovated over 500 houses now. Of course, that's over quite a few years. But I got to thinking about it. You know, over the years, that's a pretty good percentage of our population that we've done.
That's what I was going to say. You've probably have you done many of them repeat?
Absolutely. I've done the same house 3 times, more than, you know, it's like, why do I keep getting this house back, or why do I keep buying it? I don't know. It's really strange. But yeah, I've done a handful of houses 2 and 3 times.
Do you ever keep them, or are you just buying them and rehab and sell?
In this market, I'm flipping, because right now our inventory is still non-existent. I mean, I put a house on the market 2 Fridays ago. And here's a little secret I do when I put a house on the market to sell, and I'm not a realtor on purpose. I've got the same realtor for 19 years. And when we put a house on the market to sell one of our investment properties on Mondays, Ron, I have my realtor put it in the multiple listing service with a music video. It's staged to the hilt, 50 pictures, professional. And we go in a status called coming soon, which means they can see the music video. They can see the pictures. They can see the price, but they can't get in the house. And then Friday morning, we go active. So what am I doing? I'm building up demand for that house, right? And so 2 Fridays ago, it went active on Friday. By Sunday afternoon, we had 22 showings and 7 offers, all above asking price. The reason I share that, that's the market that we're still in here in Eastern North Carolina. So I'm buying it at huge discounts, fixing it up, brand new looking, put it in the multiple listing service. But over the years, I've sold a lot of homes on rent to own. I don't believe in straight rent. In fact, I think straight rent is stupid. And I'll tell you why I think straight rent is stupid, because when I can sell it on rent to own and they're responsible for repairs after 30 days, and I can get a large non-refundable lease option deposit, at least here in North Carolina, and they're going to do repairs, why in the world would I do a straight rent? But in answer to your question, in this market today, I'm buying, making them beautiful. And I mean, I just put a house under contract yesterday on the ocean here in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. After repaired value, it's actually a condo, it's not a house, but oceanfront, after repaired value is $600,000, maybe $625,000. I know you can't even buy an outhouse for that in California, but I'm buying it for $425,000, and the renovations are less than $10,000. So those are the kind of properties we're doing, and we're funding all these deals with private money from individuals that are investing in our deals.
Well, we got to dig into that one, but we're going to come back and talk about how private money, and you're finding properties for $200,000 below market value in a market that's really, really tight and tough. You're going to have to share some secrets with us when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. More with Jay Connor when we come back. How buying or selling a home benefits your community and more. Reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down, sure. We might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. How buying or selling a home benefits your community. If you think of buying or selling a house, it's important to know it doesn't just impact you. It helps out the local economy and your community too. Every year, the National Association of Realtors, NAR, puts out a report that breaks down the financial impact that comes from people buying and selling houses. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you're seeing a chart, the impact of typical home sales. Newly built homes. Now, remember, we're looking at national numbers here. So if you're in Southern California, you're going to have to do some multiplying here. Newly built, 124,700. Existing homes, 59,900. Where's that coming from? Real estate industries, 35,000, 28.1% of the total impact. Expenditures related to the home purchase is 5,400, 4.4%. Multiplier of housing related expenditures, 19,440. New home construction is, again, adds a little bit to that. When a house is sold, it really boosts the local economy. That's because of all the people needed to build, fix up, and sell homes. Robert Dietz, chief economist of the National Association of Home Builders, NAHB, explains how the housing industry adds jobs to a community. Quote, housing is a significant job creator. In fact, for every single family home built, enough economic activity is generated to sustain 3 full-time jobs for a year, unquote. It makes sense that housing creates a lot of jobs because so many different kinds of work are involved in the industry. Think about all the people involved with selling a house: city officials, contractors, lawyers, real estate agents, specialists, etc. Everyone has a job to do to make your deal go through, so each transaction is a big help to those who work and live in your community. Put simply, when you buy or sell a home, you're helping out your neighbors. So when you decide to move, you're not just meeting your own needs, you're also doing something good for your community. Just knowing your move helps so many people around you can give you a sense of empowerment as you make your decision this year. Bottom line, every time a home is sold, it really helps out the local economy. If you're ready to move, give me a call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. No, I don't help you buy and sell the property. We can give you some guidance on who can help you with that. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, Jay Connor is with us. He's a private money authority. He's helping out his local economy a lot there in Eastern North Carolina because he's buying and selling houses. So, boy, think about all of the economic value that he's bringing to his economy, not only to him and his family. So think about that concept and the people that he's employing. So it kind of throws all of that in there. So Jay, before the break, you were going over rent to own and flipping, and then you really hit me between the eyes. Okay, you're looking at buying a house on the water, $400,000. You're paying for it. After the rehab value is $600 to $625. Now, be aware that you're in a market, obviously, that's far different than where we are, because I think the I don't know, 400,000 here in Newport Beach, that I don't think that's going to even get you the garage. You might get a sidewalk or something like that.
That's for sure.
But you even made a comment, one further comment that you made, that you're in a tight market. So how do you go about finding those properties that are that far below market value?
You know, it just amazes me. And, you know, years ago when I started in this business, I tried to figure out why in the world do people do what they do? Or why do people not do what they do not do? Like, so this particular property that I'm buying for $425,000, it's worth $625. Renovation less than $10,000. Beautiful ocean views, my lands. So let me tell you about this property. The lead came from a Google paid lead, not Google pay-per-click, but I have 4 different services that I hire that they do all the Google advertising. And then here in this local market, I own this market with those 4 different services. So this was a Google search. Well, this property is an inherited. So here's a double motivation. Why do people sell at stupid cheap prices? Because they're motivated to sell quickly. That's why, right? One of the reasons. So this property that we're talking about is inherited. So there's number one motivation. They have no interest in the property. They don't live in this state. They inherited the property from their parents. Both of their parents are deceased. What's the other motivation? It's in foreclosure and it's going to sale at the courthouse steps in 2 weeks from right now. Yikes. 2 weeks from right now. So if it goes to sell on the foreclosure steps, they ain't getting no money unless it's an overage, and nobody ever claims that money from the courthouse. So inherited, and it's in foreclosure. So here's what's interesting. You see, the access to private money to close quickly is part of the secret sauce. I get so many of my offers accepted that my competition doesn't, because I'm able to close in 7 days or less. You know, if I'm borrowing money from a commercial lender for my investment properties, there's no way they can move that fast. And in this world, I don't have to get an appraisal. There's no credit score, that plays into it. So my offer was close in 7 days. He was asking $350,000. I just about had a conniption fit when I saw that. And so we go and look at the property with my realtor, with my project manager. They report back. Well, after he said he wanted $350,000, somebody else supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, offered him $400,000. He says, well, you got to pay me more than $400 if I'm going to sell it to you. So he offered $425,000. We immediately went under contract, offered a purchase using DocuSign, and locked it up. You know, time kills deals. You got to go under contract like right now, right?
Sure.
You can't move in slow motion and make money. So we went under contract. So that's where the lead came from. And the reason, here's the reason that he took our offer is because we could close in 7 days and put money in his pocket instead of it going to the foreclosure courthouse steps.
So the secret there is you've got to be known or have somebody that knows what they're doing to find those deals for you.
Absolutely. So here in our small market, we're using Google pay-per-lead. We're using Facebook ads. We direct mail all foreclosures once they've been filed. I have a full-time outbound caller. Now, you know, if you're just looking to get into real estate investing, you don't have to do all that stuff. I didn't start out doing all that stuff. That's just, you know, as the business grew. And so I would much rather be a big fish in a little pond, and this is a little pond around here, versus a small fish in a big pond.
Now that's a key nugget right there, because, you know, we're broadcasting right here in Southern California, big pond. I think in 2 zip codes by right where we're broadcasting, we have more than 40,000 people, no less. You know, I think the county is like 3 million or something like that. So are you recommending that if I wanted to get into doing this, I go out into the Tules in the suburbs or rural areas?
Absolutely. There's a big argument and case to be made. Go out in the suburbs and the outlying areas, the smaller communities, etc., and dominate that market. Dominate the market.
Drive a little, make a lot.
That's it. That's it.
Now, are these strategies in the book that we're going to talk about in a minute?
So the book, I finally finished my book. People have been asking me for it forever. The book is called Where to Get the Money Now, that we're going to give away for free. But the book primarily focuses on how to get private money lined up to fund your deals. And when I'm talking private money, I'm not talking any kind of institutional money or hard money lenders. If somebody's listening and you're familiar with the hard money, I'm talking about getting money from individuals, human beings that are using either their investment capital and or their retirement funds that they have moved over to a self-directed IRA company and then funding our deals. So yeah, the book is all about getting the money lined up. And I tell you, Ron, I know you've heard this. I'm getting ready to say something, and I think you would agree with me, Ron. I'm getting ready to find out. These gurus going around the nation that say, oh, I mean, this makes me want to throw up, Ron. The gurus that are saying, oh, just get the deal under contract, the money will show up. I want to say, where is the money going to show up? Is it going to like rain out of clouds? And so I practice and preach, get the money lined up first. I mean, people that work with me, they get more than 500,000, more than $1 million lined up in less than 30 days. There's always going to be deals, but you know what? I just don't want the stress of getting a property under contract, and I don't have a clue where the funding is coming from. Always going to be deals. Get the money lined up first.
That's fascinating, because I agree with you 100%. I mean, it would just drive me nuts if I've come up with a good deal. If I came up with a deal that's a $425,000 property, knowing that I could put $10,000 into it, sell it for $6.25, and then I couldn't fund it, I'd probably want to go and have 3 martinis for lunch instead of 2. I mean, you know, that would just drive you nuts, because you're sitting there staring at opportunity and you can't accept it. So the book is going to tell us where to go and find that money.
Absolutely. And how to get it very, very quickly. And here's what the book is all about and what I practice. You know what's interesting, Ron? Right now, I've got 47 private lenders, individuals that are funding our deals, loaning us money on our deals. And by the way, if you're listening, you don't need 47 private lenders. You need 1 or 2. But you know what? I've never asked anybody for money, and I got $8.5 million that I use from project to project. Ron, when we come back from the next break, I'd love to share how I get my deals funded without ever asking for money and never pitching a deal.
That sounds great to me. That's what we're going to chat about when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Where to get all this money that Jay's telling us is just coming out of thin air. And they want to, I bet they want to give it to Jay too. I bet all those people, those 47 lenders, they want to give him money to go and do what he does. We're going to see if we can get some of that secret sauce. And we're going to also find out where we get a hold of his book. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. rsrdebtfree.com. Not going to give you a full report today, but I'm going to tell you, if you have more than 60 days worth of unsecured debt that you cannot pay off, there are solutions. Debt consolidation loans. If you've got equity in your property, take a look at what your blended household interest rate is. I don't care if you've got a 4% mortgage, but if you're paying 22.8, which is the average on credit cards, you're paying more than that for your household debt service. Let's solve the problem. Get rid of the stress. If you don't have equity, our friend Chris Corrales can help with that too. All you got to do is go to rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. That is the Borrow Smart segment. Continuing our conversation, money from heaven. Well, I don't think that's the exact word, but we're talking this morning with Jay Connor. He's helping us with he's a private money authority. He's got a new book that's coming out. I got a tough question about your book, Jay, because we do radio every morning, and the funny part of it is I can't read. No, I can read, but I'm just not very good at it. So is your book available on Audible?
Yes, the book
Awesome.
is available on Audible. Absolutely. In fact, it just got published on Audible 2 weeks ago. So perfect timing. So they can get it on Audible, but I'd love to autograph it and send it to your audience as well.
Okay, so I'm going to have to get both because I can't read, but I like to have it in my library because that way I can get a library as big as the one you've got behind you. But let's talk about this private lenders. Where do you find these people?
Yeah, great question. So private lenders are in 3 categories, and here they are. The first category are people in your own network. You go to church with them, you go to the Rotary Club, you play golf with them, they're in your cell phone, they're on your social media. So your own network, of course, there's a direct correlation between your network and your net worth. So first of all, who do you know, right? The second category is what I call your expanded warm market. I have real estate investors telling me all the time, particularly that are new, they say, all my people are broke. I don't know anybody that's got any money. Well, first of all, I don't believe them. But second of all, I think you should expand your network. Here's some secret sauce right here. I'm going to give you a resource right now where I have gotten millions of dollars of private money over the years from right here in 8,000 population Morehead City, North Carolina. It's called BNI, Business Networking International. That was founded by Ivan Meisner decades ago. And it's not like a civic club. It is a organization. You join the local organization and you have 20, 30 other people on your sales team that are giving you leads. So I joined as a real estate investor that pays people high rates of return safely and securely to my private lenders. So I got a ton of leads of people wanting to get high rates of return safely and securely that were sick and tired of the volatility of the stock market. So your expanded warm market, how do you grow that quickly? The third category where private lenders are located is what I call existing private lenders. These are individuals like you and me that have retirement funds that are in a self-directed IRA company, or they just have investment capital. Here's the question: where do you find existing private lenders? Well, my book, Where to Get the Money Now, reveals in your own backyard where you can find existing private lenders. Let me go ahead and tell you a few resources. First of all, years ago, I hired my real estate attorney's paralegal to search public records in our local county, looking for individuals that were loaning money out secured by real estate. 90 days went by. We found only 2 people. I said, there's got to be a better way. So we started developing our own software called the Private Lender Data Feed. So in our software, we get every private lender loan that's closed in the nation. You can go in the data feed, search by zip code, and you can find all these private lenders with their contact information and the interest rate that they are accustomed to getting. But here's a free resource right here. And that is, did you know that over 70% of account holders at self-directed IRA companies want to loan the real estate investors money? Here's the difference, though. You see, they already know the game. They're already knowing the interest rate they're accustomed to getting. But in the warm market, your own warm market that you're doing business with people that you've got some kind of connection with, guess what? You get to make the rules as the borrower. We set the interest rate. We set the frequency of payments. We set the length of the note. We put the rules together, and that's the secret sauce as to how I got $2,150,000 in private money the very first 90 days after I was cut off from the banks. How did I do it? Here's the answer. I put on my teacher hat, my private money teacher hat, and I started teaching people that I knew and know what private money is. And I did it without ever asking anybody for money or pitching a deal. And since that time, I've never missed out on a deal for not having the money.
So let me ask you this, because you made a comment there that the people wanting high rates of return. How do you define, what does high rate of return mean?
Well, it's very different from hard money lenders who are institutional lenders that broker hard money. By the way, I've got great friends who are hard money lenders. I say establish as many relationships as you can with all of these lenders and resources. But how in the world do I get the money? Ron, for goodness sakes, I'm going so fast, I forgot your question. What was the question?
How do you define high rate of return?
Here's what's interesting. You know, I mentioned a moment ago that we make the rules. We set the interest rate. I started borrowing private money in 2009 when I was cut off from the banks with the global financial crisis. And I started paying my private lenders 8%, no points, no origination fees. And guess what? Today, in this crazy market, I'm still paying my private lenders 8% and no points. And people in recent times have been saying, Jay, how in the world are you still paying your private lenders the same interest rate when they can go to the local bank and get 4.5% or 5% APR and a 12-month CD? I said, that's real simple. There's 2 answers to that question. First of all, 8% is still a whole lot better than 4.5 or 5. The second answer is because I make the rules. I make the rules. You see, there's more money available than there are deals. Prior to COVID, there was $18 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines here in the United States. Today, this side of COVID, $31 trillion in cash sitting in people's checking accounts and retirement accounts. They don't know what to do with the money. It's our responsibility to relieve them of their problem by putting on our teacher hat and showing them how they can get these kind of rates of return safely and securely.
Now, are you putting a lien on the property for the money? Is that what their idea, their security?
Absolutely. We are not borrowing unsecured funds, and you can legally, but I recommend you don't do it. Protect your private lenders. Here's the deal. All my private lenders, 47 of them, never even heard of private money. until I told them about it and how they could do this. So we, here in North Carolina, most people call it a mortgage. In North Carolina, it's a deed of trust that collateralizes the note. So we back that note with the real estate that we're buying. I don't borrow more than 75% of the after repaired value. I didn't say 75% of the purchase price, 75% of the after repaired value. We also name our private lenders as a mortgagee on the insurance policy. So if there's ever a claim on that insurance policy, that check is made payable to the private lender and to my company. We also name them on the title policy as an additional insured in case there's any title issues down the road. So it's conservative, it's safe, and every one of my private lenders has gotten every cent coming to them ever since we started doing this in 2009.
So if you're looking at, if you're borrowing 75% of the after rehab value, then you've got to be buying it for that or less.
Oh, yeah. But so I'm typically, if there's no rehab, I'm not buying it for more than 70% of the after repaired value. And if there's rehab and repairs, which there typically are, here's my formula for the maximum that I pay. Here we go. I take the after repaired value. Now, this is only when I'm paying all cash with private money. I take the after repaired value times 70% less estimated repairs, and that equals my maximum offer. But then if it's less than 300,000 after repaired value, I subtract another 10,000 for Murphy. And you know who Murphy is. He always shows up. If it's an after repaired value of over 300,000, I subtract an additional $20,000 from my maximum offer for what I call the Murphy factor. Typically, I'm buying houses with a median price at 50% or less of the after repaired value.
You know, and I'm glad you said that, Jay, because it's one of my pet peeves that we've talked about on Ron Siegel Radio many, many times. Is my wife likes watching these DIY shows or the fix and flip shows, and every single one of them has a Murphy item that comes up, and not one time do they ever have in their budget something for the unexpected. Drives me bananas.
It drives me bananas too. Here's the deal. Out of over 500 houses that we have renovated, rehabbed, and sold, not one of them has come in on budget, for goodness sakes. Not one of them has come in on budget. It always costs more than you think. It always takes longer than you think. So what do you have to do? You got to know that formula. You see, with my private lenders, the reason they have received every penny coming to them that was due to them, it's not because I estimate repairs perfectly. The magic is in the offer. It's because you buy the property right, and that's how you mitigate the risk.
You always make more money on buying than on selling. But I want to give you a couple seconds here because we're almost out of time. Tell us about the book and where we get it and all that kind of good stuff.
Here's the book, folks. This is not an ebook. It's a real book. This is called Where to Get the Money Now. Subtitle, How and Where to Get Money for Your Real Estate Deals Without Relying on Traditional Lenders or Hard Money Lenders. I'll autograph it. I'll priority mail it to you. All you got to do is just cover shipping. Here's where you get it. rsrlinks.com/Jay Conner. That's JayConner. I'm an ER, not an OR. rsrlinks.com/Jay Conner.
I really appreciate it. And I think anybody that wants to try and figure out how to get ahead in life, real estate is the way to do it. You've probably not wanted to get involved or not thought you could get involved because you didn't know how to finance it. Well, our teacher's in the house. All you got to do is listen and learn. And, you know, here's another key to it. I'm going to bet that if you go and read Jay's book, go to rsrlinks.com/Jay Conner, read the book, and you might avoid some mistakes and pitfalls too. Because if you think education is expensive, try not getting educated. Just throw that out there. And as always, Jay, I really appreciate you coming on this morning. We're going to have all of the your program in the archives. We're going to share this a lot because I love the idea of helping people get ahead in life. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.